Nice setup. Have you been?
Hmm?
Have you been?
I went 2019 to one of the practice rounds.
Right on. It's such a cool spot.
Yeah.
I loved going. I was there in 2007 when Zach Johnson won. That was the last time anyway.
Followed Tiger around for a bit, but there's such a crowd you can't do it.
Like, so did we. We walked onto the property on Sunday afternoon when Tiger was in the last group, and there's a clip on YouTube on number 11. He broke his club against the tree, and you can hear my buddy right beside him. He's like, "Hey, let me eBay that for you." Like, we were right there watching him from me to you for 3 or 4 holes. Oh, back then, pretty credible.
Going to the PGA next year.
Okay.
Down in Rochester.
Cool.
It'll be a fun trip for me and guys.
Yeah, it's fun going to those events. It's like one thing to look at the Canadian Tour events up here where it's like, wow, those guys are pretty good, and I've never even heard of them. But then you go down there and you get to watch, whoever, Scheffler up close right there. It's cool.
Watch out after this.
Well,
Scheffler himself is like effortless.
yeah. Other than his feet, he bounces around. Okay, so you've got a pretty serious set here.
I'm serious, but garbage is hitting it right now.
Okay. You taken lessons before?
I've had a couple instructors. I went through Larry for a bit. I've been to board once. Larry just couldn't find time for me anymore. Plus, he got huge.
Okay.
Whatever. Then I stopped playing for a bit because I had a kid.
Okay.
Then I'm trying to get back into it. So I
cool.
at the end of last year for a couple lessons. That was really it. And then I heard about you guys out here.
So
I play out here quite a bit.
Okay, cool.
At least I try to get out 2-3 times a year.
Yeah.
On this side, at least I'm out in Newmarket.
Yeah.
It's hard because I'm all the way up north.
Well, good. I mean, you've gone to Larry. I mean, I taught Larry for like 6 years, and I know Gord really well. We have the same mentor, so I know you've got some good stuff. Like, what's been the overall theme of what you've been trying to do?
I've been pulling it crazy.
Okay.
Like, it's either inconsistent off the tee with irons, and then just pulling everything.
Yeah.
Or my drivers. Actually, my driver this year hasn't been too squirrely.
Okay.
I'll snap hook it every now and then, but for the most part, it's playable.
Okay. So pulls, snap hooks.
Yeah.
How are your divots?
I usually don't really take a pivot.
Okay.
More of a picker, like a sweeper picker.
Okay.
I know people are telling me I should probably try to take more of a pivot, but it's a mental block where digging the club into the ground, can't get over it.
Okay.
I fall back on what I used to do, and just kind of pick it off the turf.
Okay. So I would say that the reason that the ball hooks and the reason it pulls is a lot because there is no divot. And in order to get that club out of the ground and not taking the divot, the club face has to close, right? Because that's a shortening piece. It pulls it out of the ground. And so what's Larry or what have Gord asked you to do? Like, what's been your prescriptions?
Really just coming down more. Like, if I remember, coming down more, taking a divot.
So they've asked you to try to smash into the ground?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, let me see how you...
So mentally, it's like I can't get over it.
Yeah.
I know it's like a mental thing.
Okay. Well, we'll see what we can do. I mean, I'd like you to as well, but I mean, if it's just not going to happen, then let's just make sure the ball goes where you want it to. Okay. So a couple things that I want to talk about in your swing, and a lot of them are going to do with how far you bring the club back and how you create speed in your swing. So give me your ideas on how do you create speed? How do you make this thing move faster?
I normally just try to shift as quick as I can to get my weight onto my left side.
Okay.
ASAP. As soon as I'm about here, my backswing is very short.
Okay.
I find that when I try to extend it,
yeah,
for whatever reason, I just can't get
Okay. Okay. All right, come on back here. Let's take a look at this. Your swing's pretty good. Like, I'm not going to say that there's a whole bunch of stuff wrong with like your mechanics, but when it goes from the top of the backswing here, which, you know, I would say it's like it's high enough. It would be on the low end of the height, but it's high enough. It's from here, as you start to swing into the ball, you're swinging your arms. Well, you're swinging your arms with a speed perspective all the way to here. And in the golf swing, we only want to speed our arms up from here to here. That's it. So if we can get the arms to have a different speed along the path that we see them take, then that's where I think that you're going to find your best results. Because when you come through the shot, you know, your arms are really overtaking. This golf club is trying to get back down to the ball too soon. Which is kind of the reason for a lot of the other things that we can look at and we can see. You know, the as you swing through, the telling tale of that the arms have passed your rotation of your body is that when you swing through, your hands end up being really close to you, which is evident by a bent left arm and a bent left wrist, right? That pulls the grip in close to us. So where I want to try and get an idea of what you're doing here today is that we're not going to create speed for so long with the arms on the downswing. We're going to talk about how the arms have to actually slow down into impact. It's going to be big for us. And then from there, we're going to try and feel like you can turn more to the target and keeping the club farther away from you at the finish. So it's not so inside like that. See how the elbow comes out? So that's what we're going to kind of look at today. The big piece of this puzzle is that when you get back to here in your swing, you've got your body and your arms working really fast, not only to the ball, but past the ball. And so if we can really feel like the speed of the arms is here, right? Like, see how I kind of, like if there was a table here, I'm trying to smash the club down on that table. That's my arm speed. And then from there, as the arms start to slow down, that part starts to speed up. Like, if I sat on the hood of your car driving down the highway, I feel the 100 kilometers an hour you're going. You hit the brakes, I fly off the hood and go farther. So this thing kind of acts like a bit like a teeter-totter. So that if we can get down to here and this part starts to slow down, right? See how it actually almost backs up a little bit? It makes this go faster. But if you're using your arms to speed up everything past the golf ball, including past your center, that's when it starts to finish like this here. Okay? So I want it to feel as though that once you feel like you give this club speed, almost like you're using this to chop down onto this table back here, from there, all I want you to try to do is turn your body to let kind of this stuff over here happen. It's going to get long. Here, fast to here, slow with the arms to let the club release, and you keep going and it'll end up pointing out that way. Okay? How you doing? Good, man. What course are you playing?
Who?
Right on.
There's a PGA Tour Canada guy over there.
There's a bunch. Right, they've been here all week.
I could tell a bunch of really nice swings on the range.
Yeah, they've been here all week. It's been kind of cool to watch.
The guy in the turquoise shirt.
At the end?
Okay.
It's just go stand there and watch, absorb it.
So I was watching him on the chipping green.
Have fun. Yeah. Okay, so one more time, crank it up to the top. Okay, so it's going to feel like this whole thing is going down fast to here, and this is when I want you to stop. So, like, the arms don't have to be squeezing too hard. The more they squeeze, the faster they're going to go. I want it to feel like my arms are loose as I'm chopping this thing down. And then by the time your arms get to here, I want them already at zero. So this is what's going to be a little bit different with this. The idea that the golf club goes past the golf ball with shaft lean and we don't let the club out, I don't like that idea. I really want it to feel as though that when the arms stop, the club releases, right? There's a difference between an active flip of the hands versus one that happens because the club moves the right way. Okay, so this might feel through your shot that when the hands stop, and the wrists are still floppy, that the club keeps going, right? I didn't flip that. I just stopped my arms, and that's the result of it. So if we can get more of that lengthening stuff that way, that's when it's going to get easier to finish with everything long like that. Okay, so let's do just the first part, the speed part first. So crank it up. Yeah, it's going to feel a little more wristy. Yes, there you go. Way different, way different. One more time, same thing. Let the swing take a little longer. Like if I timed your swing, it's a little too short on the time. Give it the good chop on the way down. Yep, there you go. Cool. Definitely different. Okay, so take your grip. All right, so put your hands on it. All looks okay. I just like to see that hand cover that thumb more. And I think that's going to feel weird, meaning that maybe this hand has to be a little stronger on the glove. Yeah, so the glove thumb wants to sit in the palm or the pads of the hand that way. There you go. It's going to give you a different way, different support when you start to chop down there. That's right. So show me the chop, the finish position, but when you get through, keep the handle down. Don't let the handle travel up and forward too far. There we go. Not too bad. So if we had to take this up a notch or just up a level with what you're doing, I think that if we can practice the feel that as you're going up to the top, we didn't do much with your backswing here, that as you're trying to chop down, that you're almost trying to turn your stomach, your belly button toward the target. That we get a little bit of rotation as you start to chop down, just to give you the feeling that the chop happens kind of behind us this way. But I don't want it to go to the top and then you actually chop behind without this moving. This has to have moved around in order to get on the right line. So it's like chop, and as you're chopping down, turn that belly button, and I think you're going to find that if you didn't stop the chop, it would go through a little bit. So I want it to try and feel like we can finish this swing lower, like lower with the handle. I think that sometimes if the handle goes too far, then the arms have swung themselves up this way too far, right? So it's chop down, belly turn, and it's just going to be like a little chip. But the fact that we get all the loft out over here, it's going to go high. It'll feel like a punch shot with height. Cool. Same idea. Just try and let's get comfortable doing that. That looked a little tense. We'll soften things up a little bit. Same motion. Oh, that was good. So, like, it looks good. The way you're doing it is good. I'd like to see that you didn't squeeze your muscles so much so that you could have a little bit more backswing to it. So yeah, I would say smooth it out. Try and make it take a little more time and keep things a little bit softer and more like floppy, right? Keep those muscles loose and floppy so they have a chance to stretch out. Like in the golf swing, I think too many people are flexing their muscles to create speed, and all that's doing is shortening things up. When the golf swing's all about leverage, length. Guys with long arms hit the ball the farthest. So the longer I can get my arms, because the looser they are, the more speed I can create.
Yeah, I feel like at the end of it, I'm like tight here.
Loosen all that up. Yeah, just get wiggly and jiggly with it. I love the fact that you're taking divots, and we haven't talked about putting the club in the ground yet. Perfect. Exactly, but because they happen naturally, there's never that discussion of trying to get through your feel if you didn't want to do it. When they just show up, it's not your intention, Like the worry goes away. So I think you're on the right track. Keep things soft. Make sure the backswing stays long and the follow through stays short. Okay. Nice divot patch. Where'd you get your driver?
Shaft that was fitted for a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Head, I just bought a new head because I was
bored. Okay, cool.
I used
Good.
to have a fitted M6.
Yep.
With the shaft. And then I swapped it out to a king head.
Cool. I like it.
Honestly, I was just bored.
Just wanted something different?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been there.
I'm not allowed to golf anymore. Every time I go in there, I come up with something.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, arm speed in the swing, I want it to feel like it stops like just before impact. So this is where your arms are going to feel like they slow down and they stop. But when they're still speeding up through here, we don't have a chance to release this club. Okay, so my arms go fast here, and then from there, as long as I turn, my arms get to go around the corner for free. They get a ride. Okay. So imagine a ball's down there, make a practice swing for me. Now, if I stood right here, your arms and clubs shouldn't hit me. So how do they stop before there? Okay, one more time, do that again. All the way up. Okay, so, okay, one more time. Just take it up and stop. Okay, so arms come down to here. That's where they stop. So you turn your body and the club gets to go. Don't push your arms in the direction of the target. There's zero arm speed in the direction of the target. There's only arm speed down toward the ground. Yep. But if we're taking the grip of the club and we're speeding the grip of the club past the ball, I mean, imagine what that's going to do with the driver. If I speed the grip up past the golf ball, the club head's never going to square up. And the odd time that I twist it, it's going to go like 1 foot in the air. So we're trying to feel as though that the arm can slow down in order for the floppy wrist to let the club release itself. Or just basically the club head speed up and it passes the grip, which we've termed the release. But ultimately, it's just getting the arms to slow down so that the club can speed up. And then from there, as we turn, it makes it look like it's a full finish, but I didn't drive my arms up there. So don't let your arms get to here. I want them slow down way before here. God, not bad. One more time. Bigger backswing, same idea. A couple practice swings first. Yeah. Don't hold on to it. Let that club go. Yep. Good. Hold your finish on this one. Hold it there. Okay, so turn and stand more. Turn your body. Keep going. There, stand more. Stand taller. There. Okay, again. Slowly arms down, turn and stand. Good. So once I chop the club down that way, I have to turn my body and stand to get the club and my arms over on this side. Yeah, that was different. So this chop motion is where all the speed of the arms and wrists go. They go down to there and there's nothing more than that. But as long as we can get that to happen and you turn the body, right, we'll be able to hit the golf ball. We'll be able to take that downward spot, which probably feels like you're trying to hit the ground over here, and it turns it forward. But there are times where you're getting into a tall finish because your arms are going up like this and it's forcing you tall instead of your legs trying to get you up and your hands staying lower. The whole hands and arms staying lower is just because, like, if I'm chopping wood, which really this is what it is, I take the axe, I lift it up, and I chop it in and I keep it down. But if we're going to do the chop down this way, I don't want to then lift it up with speed. That's what's making the top happen. We're topping the ball because the club's getting low, and then it's going up, 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 up because we're trying to pull this too high. So, yeah. So I feel that all my speed in the golf club is getting the grip of the club to go down as I turn forward. Just keep the grip working to the ground. Don't lift it back up again. Don't push it toward the target. Just get it to go down to the ground. Same thing again, practice swing. Okay, one more time. Arms can't go higher than this in the follow through. Keep them down, don't hit my stick. Yeah, one more time, don't hit my stick. Slow down earlier. Okay, again, a little faster, then stop harder. Good, hit one like that. Think I've got the stick there and you can't bump into me. Cool. So this swing is going to feel like it's longer this way than you're used to, way shorter this way than you're used to. And because that track or that distance from high hands to finish hands is so much shorter, it's going to start to feel like this is effortless. But because that track is shorter than short backswing, high follow through, like we apply the speed at a different time in a different place, right? If the person's standing right here, I only have this far to punch them. But if they're standing over there, I can wind up and really reach. Totally different energy sources, right? Or distances. So if my hands start here and they go up as far as they can go and they can only go back down and not forward, right? You're going to start to create more speed here and then more club speed down at the ball because the arms stopped. But the biggest thing that's missing is the visual of the flip due to arm stopping. And I don't want you to sit there and try to do this because that's the wrong way, but it has to happen. So when you finish the swing, if you haven't felt the club head pass the handle, we need to be a little softer. But I really hope that this swing feels like it's just all the way up, all the way down, and
It's just weird having to try to force myself to stop like around here.
right. And so in order to create speed in our body, we have a series of things that accelerate, but also things that decelerate. right? Like when I'm throwing a ball, my shoulder has to decelerate in order to let my arm and wrist accelerate. So there's brakes and gas pedals. And you've got lots of gas pedals. You've got the gas pedals going so far past the finish line. I want to start to incorporate a little bit of brakes, right, to increase some speed. Okay, so I'm going to count to 3. And when I finish 3, I want you to start your backswing. So you're going to hit the golf ball. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And as soon as I finish 3, start up again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, come take a look. As far as you can go. Nice and soft and gentle. Awesome. Good job.